Welcome to the woods. Beautiful day today. Sun shining, not raining. And living in a cabin in the middle of the woods on a day like today can be pretty idyllic. But it's not always like that. Sometimes things can be hard. Over the last month, I've gone through 3 generators, and at this time of the year I need the Jenny to recharge the batteries to put electric into the cabin. So it's left me for a couple of weeks with no electric, and that can be tough. But understanding that sometimes these things will happen, I'm prepared for it. And I've got a lot of LED lights which are battery operated, so we've still got light. It does mean I can't use the boiler for the central heating, but I can burn extra wood, so we've still got heat. So we got through it. And just when I got the generators sorted and everything was back to normal, my water collection system sprung a leak and emptied 3,000 litres of water into the woods. All my water. Which meant no running water. Which can be hard. But we got through it. I've got a lot of water containers. I can collect water from other places. So we can still have a cup of coffee and we can still wash. But much the same as with everything else in life, if something's worthwhile, it's probably going to be hard along the way. That could be anything. You might want to get fit, and that's going to mean you have to get your arse off the sofa, turn Netflix off, do some exercise. You're going to have to do some running and some jumping. Lifting weights. Hard work to get fit and healthy, which is your goal. You may want to expand your mind, in which case you're going to have to study. You're going to have to read books. You're going to have to forego doing things you wanted to do in order to learn. That's hard. You may want to give up smoking. Stopping doing something that you've been doing a long time is going to be hard. And often in life, you're going to be faced with a decision. You're going to have the easy road, and you're going to have the hard road. Now, it would seem sensible to take the easy road. Why wouldn't you? Well, the reason is your desired goal. What is it you want? Because whatever it is, it's probably going to mean taking that harder road. So sometimes you're going to have to choose the harder route and forego the easy route. The dogs agree. Anyway, I promised some of you another Sunday story, and I was trying to think of one which would tie into choosing the hard route and foregoing the easy route. And the story I'm going to tell you, I've told before, but not on this platform. A long time ago, in the mists of time, I was 15 and I had a girlfriend, a couple of years older than me, only 3 or 4 years. And we'd been seeing each other for, I don't know, about a year, when her dad came to the conclusion that I probably wasn't the right bloke for her, and explained to me in no uncertain terms that if he caught me round his daughter again, he'd tear my tongue out and hang me with it. And he told her as well. Well, being 15 and knowing everything in the world at that age, I promptly ignored him. And we carried on seeing each other, which is the way of teenagers. And one Friday, during school holidays, her mum and dad went off to work, and I went round her house. And she let me in. And being young teenagers, we moved on up to upstairs and did what young teenagers do. And when that had finished, I stood at the bedroom window smoking my cigarette, butt naked, thinking I looked like Adonis, when in reality I probably looked like the scrawny teenager I was, while she reclined on the bed. And life was good. Until the instant I heard the front door go. Now I turned around and looked at her, and she sat bolt upright on that bed and looked at me. And I knew instantly that it was her dad. And I didn't say anything, because my heart had moved from my chest to my throat. I couldn't speak. I was panicked. And I looked around that bedroom desperately for somewhere to hide. Because if he caught me in his daughter's bedroom in my state of undress, I doubt it would have been my tongue he'd torn off and hung me with. And with very little choice, I grabbed my clothes and jumped in the wardrobe. And I was terrified. So I'm in the wardrobe, desperately trying to get dressed quietly. And I've got my t-shirt on, and I've pulled my jeans on. I've stuck my pants in one pocket and my socks in the other, and I've got my shoes on. And I open the wardrobe door a crack and I call her over. And I say to her, go downstairs and keep him talking. Get him to go into the kitchen. And I'm thinking, I've got to get out of here. I don't know how long he's home for. Could be just for lunch. He could be home for the duration. And I don't fancy sleeping in the wardrobe. And I say to her, I'm going to go out the window on the landing. So get your dad into the kitchen, which is at the back of the house. And she does. She goes downstairs. And I can hear the voices going from the front room to the dining room to the kitchen at the back of the house. And I creep out of that wardrobe. No noise. Being assailed by an assortment of teenage girl garments as I leave. And I creep across the bedroom. Now on the landing is a window, and below that window is the garage roof. And I'm thinking, if I can get out the window, drop down to the garage roof, off the garage, and I'm away. So I move across the landing, trying not to creak a floorboard. I get to the window and I move the photograph that's on the windowsill to the side. And I open the window, all the while looking down the stairs, thinking he may appear at any moment. And I get one knee up onto the windowsill and I pull myself up. And I get one leg out of the window and one leg dangling inside the house, trying to make no noise at all, looking like a quadriplegic cat burglar. And I get the other knee out of the window. Both knees out of the window, I'm on the outside. And I move the photo back and I pull the window as close as I can. I can't get it all the way close. There's no angle on the outside. And I drop down silently onto the garage roof. And I've done it. I'm outside. I'm home free. Now the kitchen's at the back of the house. So I moved to the front of the garage, doing that crouching run thing. And I get to the front of the garage and I look down, and that's about 12 foot. And that seems like a long way. I'm not jumping, and even if I dangle off, I've got a good 6, 7, 8 foot to drop afterwards. Now the garage had a sloping roof, and it's 12 foot at the front and a fair bit lower at the back. So I run to the back of the garage and I look down the side, and down the side is their path, and then some flower beds, and then next door's path and their driveway. And I figure I can lower myself down off the garage roof, cross over onto next doors, and I'll be away. So it's what I do. I kneel down and I lower myself slowly off of that garage roof. Now the roof has pulled my t-shirt up to just about covering my face. I don't really care, I just want to get away. And as I get to full stretch, I am looking through a window in the garage at her dad, who is 10 inches away. And the look on his face isn't one of anger or fury that you might expect. It's a look of complete and utter confusion. And I think you need to put yourself in his position. Here's a middle-aged man who's popped home at lunchtime to grab a sandwich, has had a chat with his daughter in the kitchen and gone through into the garage to get himself a refreshing beverage. And whilst doing this, spots 2 feet slowly descending from the window, followed by 2 skinny legs, and then the naked torso, quickly followed by the acne-scarred face of 15-year-old me. Now, as much as the look on his face was one of confusion, I also caught in that glass a reflection of my face, which was one of abject terror. I let go of the roof. My knees hit the windowsill, throwing me backwards into a rose bush that was in their flower bed. And I am crawling through a rose bush in the dirt on my hands and knees into the next door's drive, where I regained my feet and ran away, leaving my dignity in the rosebush. Now, to tie this back to what I was saying earlier, whilst I was on that garage roof, if my courage had held and I'd chosen to go down at the front, that may have looked like the harder route, I would have been away. But I chose what I believed to be the easy route, and it didn't end well. So when you're faced with that choice between the easy route or the hard route, try to remember me on my hands and knees, crawling through that rosebush. Taking the easy way doesn't always work out. Anyway, you lot, have a good day. It's all good in the wood. Speak to you soon.